Okay, we're here at Sema with Rob Bader, who has built 4 so far Tucker 48s, and he has a Tucker Torpedo in the build. This is a 48. It's just been finished. It was his personal car, but it's been sold. Mate, what an achievement. What got you interested in building these Tuckers in the first place?
Well, thanks. That goes back to 1947 when my grandfather was a dealer for Tucker. He had a dealership in New York City. And so obviously the company failed right away, but my grandfather never lost his love for the car, and he kind of passed that on to my father and on to me. So we've always had a soft spot for anything Tucker, and at some point we decided that we're never going to be able to buy a Tucker, so the next best thing for us is to make our own. So this is number 4 of our own handmade cars.
I guess those original Tuckers don't change hands very often, but when they do, what do they go for?
I think the last one that sold for big bucks was like $3 million. Yeah.
Okay, so building one of your own makes sense.
It made sense for us, sure. Yeah.
Because you guys, not just average Joes, you guys are long-time hot rod builders and coach builders, yeah?
Right, yeah. I mean, we're working guys, so we like to be creative. And, you know, honestly, even if we were able to buy one, I don't know that that's really the solution for us. You know, we like cars with modern technology. We like cars that we can be a little creative with. Customizing, modifying, that's really what we do. And you wouldn't do that with an original car, whether you could afford it or not. It just wouldn't be a responsible thing to do. So this car gives us that freedom. So twin turbos and a lower ride height and all those kind of things that we like about hot rods, we're able to apply here without hurting a rare and original collectible car.
So body-wise, what have you done there?
The only changes to the body is that we slimmed down the hood a little bit. The front hood, in my opinion, looked a little bit off on an original Tucker. It looked like they were kind of pointing toward the sky. So we reshaped the hood on this car. But other than that, every body shape and dimension is pretty accurate to the original cars.
And it's a mix of steel and composite, yeah?
Yes, it's parts of it are steel and parts of it are resonant fused composite.
And just talk us quickly through the chassis, driveline stuff.
For an engine, we're using a Cadillac, so it's a 4-cam North Star, so it's a 32-valve aluminum V8, and we mounted it transversely mid-engine, so right behind the rear seat is the engine turned sideways with the transaxle, and we've added twin-turbo boost to that engine. We're using the brakes and steering also from the Cadillac, and the car also has a full belly pan front to back.
And I really like the way you've integrated the original Tucker dash design and controls, but into all that new technology.
Yeah, so it appears like all Tucker parts on the inside, but they're repurposed. So this car's got modern technology, so we had to kind of get a little creative on the componentry. The gear shifter looks like the pre-selector of a Tucker, but it's actually actuating a modern electronic transmission from a Cadillac.
Bitchin'. And what's the time frame to build this car?
It takes us about a year to build a car like this.
And do you and your dad have specialist tasks that each of you kind of focus on?
Yes, so I do most of the design work and fabrication. Me and my team, finish the cars off. My father's a machinist, so if you see things like the taillights and the grills, he machines those for us.
That's a pretty handy guy to have around.
Yeah, it's a great team. So I mean, not only is it a family affair, but it's also a great team. That it takes to build a car like this.
And just quickly, the next thing in line is the Tucker Torpedo.
Yeah. That's
a car that was never built. There was only ever a 3/4 model made.
Right.
You guys have gone and built the thing. Quickly talk. There's a whole different level of complexity. Yeah.
It is. It's very, very complicated to build a car like that. I think when I committed to that project, I underestimated how difficult it is to make a car completely from scratch that has never been built before. Because, yes, we had a design to work within, but no engineering has ever been done for that car. So that really left it on us. So we had to work from the outside in. We had a shape, but we didn't have any technical information. So all that engineering was on us, and it was quite the challenge. But I think most of it is behind us now, and we're in the home stretch of finishing that car.
So why the aluminum body?
Tucker wanted an aluminum car. He wanted a lightweight car. Things that were important to him, even in 1946, were performance, fuel economy, and safety. And he felt that the aluminum car, being light, would offer him both of those things.
So you've had to go and do that?
Yeah, so we had to do that. So we're keeping the car as light as possible.
And that car has a Porsche flat 6?
That car is Porsche powered, so we're using a twin-plug air-cooled flat 6 911 engine.
Because the original Tuckers were Flat sixes, yeah?
Yes. So Tucker, he did make his own engine, and it was an opposed 589 cubic inch engine, and he made one of those, and it's actually on display in the Hershey Museum in Hershey, Pennsylvania. But the cars that he built, the 48 Tucker, he used a helicopter flat six. So on the Torpedo, he never actually had an engine, he only had an idea. So a flat six air-cooled engine was a good choice, and we chose Porsche.
Now that you've been through this process 4 times and building another one, you must feel like you know the guy a bit. What do you summarize what you think Preston Tucker was like? You know, we've all seen the movie and that, but what have you learned about the guy?
Well, you know, we have a really close working relationship with Sean Tucker and Mike Tucker, the great grandsons of Preston. So we feel like we have kind of an inside track to how Preston Tucker was, at least you know, from the stories that get handed down from generation to generation. And it seems like from the things that we've learned about Preston Tucker was that he was not only a forward thinker and a guy that was able to come up with concepts that nobody ever dreamed of before, but he also knew how to pull things together and make them work. But he was also a fun guy. So I think that maybe seeing a car like this with some modern technology, I think if he walked up here today, he might think this car is pretty cool.
I reckon he would. I forgot to ask you about the seat assembly in that Torpedo.
So the reason why Tucker didn't build that car was that it's center drive, and for you to sit up in the driving position, way up in the center of that turret-shaped roof and windshield, you would have to smash your head into the ceiling to get out of the car. So once they realized that was going to be an issue, they needed to move the driver over to the left. Once they did that, they needed to make a squared roof like what we're seeing here. Mm-hmm. So that was the end of the Torpedo design. So our solution to that problem is a rotating floor assembly. So now you can open the door either left or right, sit in the nearest seat, and travel over to the driving position. So all the seats then change position, and you end up in the driving position. So that made that car now buildable. Wow. So that was the solution to the problem that killed that car. Yeah. We come up with a solution, we've executed it. Sean Tucker, who is Preston Tucker's great-grandson, actually did the engineering on that concept, wow. and we all made it work.
So if you press the wrong button, the kids in the back seat could end up driving.
They could drive.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.